What up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. So I am back with another reaction video. Now, this is a reaction to Donald Trump's plan for day one of his administration. So he lays out some things that he's going to tackle on day one. And I don't think this is rubbing people the right way. So a lot of people are probably upset about this, a specific group in particular, but I'm not going to weigh in too much on it, but I'm going to go ahead and play what he had to say. And I definitely want to get your thoughts on it. Do you agree with what his plan is for on day one of his administration, or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. If you are new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also share and like the video as well, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. So let's go ahead and get into what Donald Trump had to say. Here we go.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
All right. So what do you guys think about that? Some don't have a problem with what he's proposing, but there are others who have a major problem with it. Now, key word, he's referring to minors. And personally, I think that's something that needs to be tackled. Now, some would argue that that is not the most pressing thing, but I saw an entire documentary on this, and there are a lot of these young people who are having horrible experiences with this, and they went into it thinking it was going to be one way, and then it turned out to be something else. There's a whole lot going on with that, and I know people say that's only a small percentage of the population, but I do think it's a real issue because these are children we're talking about. My thing is I'm open to accepting you no matter what you decide to do. Just don't try to impose it on me. But I'm open and accepting of people making choices for themselves as adults. But when it comes to children, I think that that's a problem. I don't think that these children really are capable of making the correct decisions for themselves. That's why you have parents who are in charge of these children, and you leave it up to the parents to make the decisions, not these children, because children are vulnerable. And my thing is, if you can't vote until you're an adult, until you're 18, or you can't drink until you're 21, you can't do certain things until you are considered an adult. I think it should be no different for this. And so while I'm not as versed into what is actually happening, I've seen enough to know that these young children are definitely vulnerable. And I do see that being an issue of and where something needs to be done about that. So I can see why he's trying to tackle that. And I don't see anything wrong with it because it's going too far. It's already going too far. It's a lot going on. And, something needs to be done. I'll just say that. So what do you guys think about that? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to pivot to another clip that I saw that kind of lays out what's going on as Trump has been elected as our next president. Some things that are changing already, and he has not even been sworn in yet. And I thought this was very interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this one. Here we go.
It hasn't even been a full week since Donald Jaquavius Trump got elected to be the president, and have you seen what's been happening around the world? Europe is on board. They're ready to purchase oil from the US. Mexico didn't want any smoke. They've been telling their own people to stop crossing the border because Trump threatened them with that 25% tariffs. Golly. The Taliban just called. They don't want to be on the US terrorist list anymore. Whew. Russia, Russia, Russia. Putin said we not an enemy. And they decided to change their mind about ditching that blue Benjamin Franklin, baby. They gonna stick with the US dollar in Russia. Oh, and the misogynist, sexist just appointed Susie Wiles the first woman chief of staff. She gladly accepted it. My son RFK Jr. is on the FDA neck, talking about why we got 18 ingredients inside our kids' Fruit Loops. They about to get up out of here. China called, they want peace. We know about y'all buying all that farmland around our military bases. Y'all ain't low. Bitcoin, all-time high. Stock market, all-time highs. Mayor Adams said no more lunch money for the migrants. It's a wrap, even though it's a year program anyway. Probably was just coming to an end naturally, but still. Palestinian president ready to chop it up. Hamas want to end the war now. And for those who don't know about India, they run technology. They want to have a sit down. They covered Kamala's mural in Atlanta. Now, I know it's supposed to be focusing on women's abortion rights, but if you have a problem that the federal government is no longer involved and it's up to your state now, why don't you just move to another state? I'm gone.
Listen, what do you guys think about what he had to say? That kind of sums up what is happening. He hasn't even been sworn in yet. So what is the major difference? These are the issues that we've been facing in this particular administration, the Biden-Harris administration, where they were threatening World War III, and then we have the immigration issue with the border and inflation and a whole lot more that's going on. Now that Trump has been elected president, all of these issues may come to a halt. Why is it that he comes in and now everybody wants to work with him? Everybody wants to stop the madness. They want to see a change. That to me signifies that there was something allegedly going on in this administration that was not beneficial to us and whatsoever, and that there was not a cohesive working together to make things better. And you have to think about that. And I understand we all have our differences, and people wanted Kamala in for whatever reason because they felt like they wanted a woman president. But to be honest, don't you guys think that there's something more sinister at play here? That there's something much more important that's going on that we should be focused on than the fact of just voting a woman in for the first time as president? I'm just saying, and that's a historical moment, and I think most people or most women would love to see that. But was this the time to do that? With all of the things that are being threatened and all of the things that were going on, it makes you wonder, like, if we had Democrats in office for another 4 years or longer, what would this country really look like? What would be happening? Because as soon as Donald Trump was elected and not even sworn in yet, we already see progress already happening. Now, maybe people aren't concerned about that, but clearly the people who voted for Trump had these concerns and are worried about the state of our country and the American people. So I just, it's something that you should think about, and we have people out here crashing out and having issues because they didn't get a woman in. But honestly, if we're looking at the real issues, I think there's more that we should be focused on and concerned about than just electing a woman. I'm just saying, people are scared of all these other things, but you don't want to go into this with fear. I don't think anybody should be fear mongering and scared, but you need to be aware of what's really happening. I just found it interesting that now that he's elected into office and not even sworn in yet, already we're seeing differences happening. What was the difference between him and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? It's just a stark difference. That's all I'm saying. People can believe what they want, but I mean, the information is out there. You can go and look it up, as opposed to being ignorant to it and not paying attention and just voting and moving off of your feelings and emotions. That's not going to make anything better. That's all I'm saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Chime in. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.